And welcome to the podcast.
Here with my podcast. Once again, we're here. Good day, we're having a good day.
Yeah.
Good day.
Cheers to you, my brother.
Cheers.
Archangel Mark.
Got our Bob Marley playing. Got our tea. Got our little bit of 420 going. Got our workout in today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Having a good day. It's a good day. Today is a good day.
Yeah. So thank you, sir. Yeah, we had a good workout in, huh?
Good one, yeah, man. You got a lot of energy today, too. Got some sleep yesterday, you know? I didn't drink no beer because I wanted to have a good workout yesterday. I didn't want to feel sluggish.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Made it happen.
It happened.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so brother Mark was talking to me. We were talking before, and then he brought up Antarctica.
Oh yeah,
right.
Antarctica is spooky, as they say.
Yeah.
It's the spooky place. They don't. I watched a few. I've been watching a lot, but recently I just tapped back into it, man. About how Antarctica is basically, what is it like? Forbidden. You can't even go there. Like
yeah.
Travelers, all of the countries have like some type of international pact. Planes don't fly over there, even though it will be a faster route or whatever. They say it's too cold or whatever. But it also says that something there interferes with their navigation shit. You know what I mean? So that could be something also, you know? What you think's going on there with the ice wall? There really is an ice wall, Mike, right?
Yes.
And that ice wall, right, is massive, dude. And they haven't, just like the ocean, they haven't gotten into them things yet. Or that's what they're telling us.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying here? So what do you think Antarctica is? Do you think that it has some type of what's going on there?
Well, I mean, all I know is that there's a lot to cover for it, because there's a map that you can find online that was, and they don't know the exact date of this map, but it's been on different television shows and things where you can see, and it's pre-Columbus, anything that's recorded of us going to America.
Yeah.
And it shows on the map not only the coast, the west coast of Africa and Europe, but you'd also see the east coast of Americas, and then it shows on the map in the bottom Antarctica, coastal parts of it, with trees and stuff like that down there.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing, and how we can get into global warming, because we don't know how old shit really is, because not with Antarctica, but also two more things to add to that, the mysteries of what's going on with that is one where they found in like places like Siberia frozen woolly mammoths, right? These things are they're ice frozen in perfect condition, and they cut it out in a block. The scientists got to it, they drilled into it, and they found fresh buttercups in its mouth. And then they got into its intestines, and it was still digesting fresh stuff, but yet it's an ice. So then they say, okay, so let's get more experts in there.
Time.
They brought in an extra expert, and this gentleman was like the head of the top freezer and refrigerator companies of all the world, because he knows all about temperature. So he went down there and he said, listen, for that woolly mammoth to get ice cold or frozen that way with fresh buttercups in its mouth, the temperature had to go from beautiful weather into beyond ice within he said within a matter of a day.
Yeah.
And the only explanation he can say is that there was sudden climate change. The explanation behind it, they don't know. They just know what the physics happened with that freezing and that fresh buttercups in his mouth.
And I was just recently watching a guy, Mike, right? And this is the guy that got me back. I'm gonna try to find his name. I'm gonna give him props or whatever. But he was on I think he was on the guy Red Pill. You know the guy Red Pill that we
I love Red
right?
Pill.
I think he was on his show. And this guy was just, he was what do they call it? Cooking.
Yeah.
was cooking. You know, they was letting them cook. You know what I mean? He started talking about Antarctica,
Mm.
and he said that Antarctica was hit with what you call a flash flood. I mean, a flash freeze. You know what I mean? Like this.
Oh yeah.
This
Okay.
massive. And he said it was a civilization, a super advanced civilization.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he said it flash froze. Boom.
Mm.
Everything there stuck in time. All the technologies, all the medicines, all of the math, all of this shit is stuck there. Boom.
Mm.
You know, and then it free. And over time, it gets deeper and deep. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's deep. It's more buried. And like you said, it's all preserved, perfectly preserved. So if there was creatures back then, if there was different type of beings back then, they're there. Whether or not they fucking with them, the fact that we talking about it is probably shows that they're fucking with them. You know what I'm saying? And on another show, it made me when he what else he was talking about. He said that it used to be a Greenland, like a plush jungle, Amazon type of atmosphere, and it was hot. You know what I mean? Like a real hot, warm type of atmosphere. And now recently I watched these Russian guys, these Russian scientists. They had this drill, and I don't know how many thousands of feet this drill goes down into this ice. That's how big these ice things are. And it still wasn't the bottom of them. You know what I mean? This is as far as they can get these drills to go. It's little, about the size of my hand. It goes down, and they come up with a little solid piece of ice like this,
samples,
and it has plants in it. Green plants in it, dude. You feel what I'm saying, you? It was down there. They got flash froze, yo. So that shows that one time that was a Greenland. You know what I'm saying, yo? But what was there, like, they if they know, they ain't gonna tell us, man.
Wow.
See what I'm saying? You know, it's the guy was basically saying like those was like all of the X-Men shit and all of the Professor X and all of this type of shit that shit's from there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they found that shit there. You know what I'm saying? All types of creatures and all types of, you know what I mean? And then you look at how it's something with the place there was called with the Atlantis shit, yo. Some type of connection with
city of Atlantis and yeah.
It's something like they saying that might have been that city that they're talking about, and that's why they're saying it's underwater. You understand what I'm saying? You like the people who didn't have the, like when they was writing it back then, it was frozen underwater. You know what I'm saying? Maybe when they was saying that back then, the language, that's what they was saying, that there's this city that's underwater, and maybe they couldn't get to it. Like they didn't have no drills and all of that shit and all of that shit, so they can't even fucking fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? They can't get out there because of the conditions and the weather. They can't be out there digging and all that shit. So it's just maybe they knew it was frozen back then. All of these different civilizations just said it's just underwater. Like
wow.
And now we got the technology that we know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's some frozen. I don't know.
Could even be pyramids over there. I've heard that before.
That shit. Now something else I've seen. They have these holes, right? They have these sinkholes, they call them, whatever, where there's some type of heat, like there's volcanoes down there that are erupting and it's melting shit and yada yada yada. So they have these holes, right? And these holes go thousands and thousands of feet down, right? And then they have these other things where they bring tourists, or they used to bring tourists, maybe, right? Because they got videos. You can watch videos of people walking through these tunnels. Yeah. And they say that these tunnels melted because of the heat. The heat melted it, and yada yada yada. But when you see these people walking, these look like tunnels that you see in like a movie or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it don't look like no fucking melted shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just some tunnels or some shit. And this is a part that's safe or something. You know what I mean? Dang. It's deep, man. It's deep. I like watching shit about that. And then I might show you. I try to show you a little video about the starfish, the little tunnel.
Tell me again. I know, but please tell me.
Put that up. See if you can find. I'll find. Let's see if I'll find it.
Okay.
But it was they had these slow motion cameras. Some European I don't know what country they were from, but there was a lady who was talking, and they were from I think they were like Sweden or France.
And I saw the video you showed me. It was pretty badass. Okay.
And they were diving somehow up there. They had some permission to dive in a certain area up there, so they were diving, right. They were like, their lips were freezing, their lips were free, like it was cold. They had all this shit on. It still do, you know what I mean?
So diving in Antarctica deep down there.
They wanted to set up these certain type of cameras, right? And they have to you have to put them like, you know what I mean. They have to do it themselves. They can't sit it down there. You know what I mean. They have to get that shit right somehow. So they get them down there, right, and then they see this. They see there's all these little frozen things. They look like little frozen whirlwinds. You know what I mean. And they go down to the bottom, and then they cover the bottom, and then everything around there is not alive. And then there's other areas where everything's alive. There's all these little starfish and little barnacles crawling around, thousands and thousands of them, right?
Yeah.
And in one of these tunnels, they didn't know what these tunnels were really. You know, they never had one on camera before. Nobody ever caught one on camera. They see what it does in the end, but they see one actually spinning on the camera. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they got to go up, whatever, get some other shit so they can set it up so they can catch this shit. And as they catch it, they do it in like the slow motion time lapse thing. It just comes down and it just trickles, and the fish can't go nowhere because it's frozen over there, and you know what I mean, or the starfish. Yeah. So it just comes down and it just freezes the whole. And if you think about it, that's like just like what could have happened to the people. Like those starfish are there forever now. You see what I'm saying? Like that shit was frozen in time. Like damn. So
yeah, I've seen that. I've heard of that before. Where that's pretty badass with those starfish and how deep that is, and how life just gets weirder and different. Right? We were talking about that before, right? They relate to the starfish. They regrow if you cut them up down there too, right?
Yeah, starfish do that. Yeah. A lot of other animals do that, man. They try to figure that out with people. They try to figure out how to make like newts and stuff like that. Animals like how to get people to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. What are we talking about with the Byrd guy?
The Byrd guy?
Expedition.
Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you, man. That was Admiral Byrd, bro. Admiral Byrd was an admiral for the United States Navy. And he did an expedition where it was him and and I don't want to pull the number up, but it was like a fuckload of ships where it was like a fleet. They all went down there, and then all the stories come out of Hush Hush was that it had something to do with aliens and Nazis, and also like there was an actual war that went on down there. That was another thing that I saw over and over again. And then when they came back, they didn't want to discuss what actually happened down there. And then, but at the same time, if that's true, it is true that those governments and other governments were going down there, like you're saying, and then they were trying to take hold of that environment down there for research and things like that. Mm-hmm. But it goes into like a secret bases being down there is what it came down to.
So think about it like this, right? He was saying that, right? That the Nazis, Hitler, we went into talking about Nazis and Hitler, right? And he said that Hitler was that's why Hitler had a lot of shit going on in Antarctica, a lot of expeditions, a lot of men out there, and he was basically saying that this might be too far-fetched for some people, but he was saying that those whoever was in Antarctica, they had this super technology. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And he was there fucking with them somehow. You know what I'm saying, And he was saying that they're the Enochs. I'm not sure who those are, but he was saying that whoever he was fucking with were the Enochs.
Yeah.
And they was some type of angels or some shit like that, man. Like some X-Men type of motherfuckers or something. That's what you know what I mean? And then he went from there to the X-Men.
He gets into like aliens, angels,
man.
all that
type of
spiritual
super beings,
man.
You know what I'm saying?
Power.
And they can show you how to do some shit that you can use forever. Imagine and think about this, right? What if they have to stay in that atmosphere? Like that frozen shit is the only shit that they can really, like, they get in their ships, right?
Yeah.
And they have to stay in their ships.
Yes.
They can't unless there's some ice.
All right.
You see what I'm saying?
All right. To what you're saying, I was watching some stuff lately, and it all comes together. Where like if you go into like declassified military stuff, where there's witnesses talking about UFOs or spacecraft of some type coming up out of the ocean and then just taking off? And then what about the videos that they have of these Tic Tac UFOs? They're like 80 feet long, and they're all over YouTube. Like there's and all kinds of and all the pilots have taken lie detector tests, are testifying about it. And then these Tic Tacs, they have them on radar going from the space down to the up to the ocean level, going ocean level like crazy all the time, and then going inside the ocean. So is it possible going all the way down to? Do they come from somewhere where it's ice cold and that's like their type of climate?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
And then they need the human workers
water,
down
I'm saying,
there.
underwater is space.
Yeah.
Underwater is space, dude. You understand what I'm saying? You like,
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
And that ice shit, right? Just imagine that ice shit is a ship. Imagine that shit being a ship. So like they show us in the movie, the big rock just take off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Imagine if that whole thing could be like just take the fuck off of that. You don't know, man. Craziness, man. All of these damn and I was talking with this older guy at work too, and he was basically saying that people don't. He was basically saying to me, if you don't know about shit like this, you're crazy at this point in time. You know what I'm saying? It's
in my world,
yo. You know what I'm saying? And
one time when I was in federal prison, I was like, I put my mind to wrap it around aliens one day. So what I did is I sat down and I had an astronomy book I got at the library. And in it, I found the Drake equation. So I wrote it down as I was reading it. So the Drake equation is if you take an infinite number, not infinity, of course, but like say like 100,000 galaxies, and you take 1%. So let's put 1%, let's calculate 1%. And then 1% of the galaxies have life, 1% of the solar system has life, 1%. And then you multiply it all the way down, there's still like millions and millions of life, so much life that should still be out there, no matter how small the number is. In the huge scheme of things, there's still a lot of life out there, whatever it is, whether it's highly intelligent or not.
Yeah, they tell us that there's other galaxies and that they can't see and they can't reach and they can't. So it's infinite.
Yeah.
So to think that this stops here, like up in our sky, you know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
A fun thing that I learned too was like I don't know how they do it now, probably just a more advanced type of it, but they used to do technology called spectroscopy, which is like the quantitative analysis of light. So what they would do is that they would measure the sun through light, and like based on how wide the light code was, like blue, green, and what, based on the size of it, how it looked, that's how you know how much hydrogen was there, how much helium, how much oxygen, and others. And then they could take that framework and they look at all the other stars and planets and things like that, and then they're like, so that's how they know when they look at all the other stars and everything else. They're like, you know what? All the chemicals that are here are out there as well. Maybe not in the same exact proportion. But it's the same.
Different soup. That's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
different soup.
Different. Like the form, like those are life forms. Those are life forms up there. They just look like that. You understand what I'm saying? You like, even if it's a gas or a particle, it's still, it might need something else to bring it together, but it's still, I don't know. You know what I mean? I think like when they tell us about like how they give the planets names and all of that shit, or they say like one's a female, this and you know what I mean? Like I think that those are like life forms, like something. It's more than a planet, dude. It's some type of life form. They used to call this Mother Earth. When I was a kid, this was Mother Earth.
Yes.
But now you don't hear that. They don't teach the kids that shit no more. You don't hear none of the cartoons, nothing. It was all over the TV when we were kids. You got to take care of Mother Earth. We got to take care of Mother Earth. Now you don't hear that shit no more.
Or that commercial the Native American cried after you saw the trash on the ground.
Yeah, like stuff like that. They had
instead of agreeing with it, they just made fun of it, threw the trash out anyway. There you are, people. So it's like,
yeah.
Oh man.
But you know, I always look at stuff, man. Like I always tell my friend that I be like, the moon's a light bulb, yo. We're in a dome.
I love the moon.
And now I got them looking up sometimes. I'll be like, hey, you see the sun over there and the moon over there? It's supposed to, you know, like, that's the reflection. Like you read it, they say it's the. I'll be like, you don't know what the hell that is, man, because they just don't like what they tell you it is. You know what I mean? You can't touch it. You can't really see it. You just You know, just by the maps and stuff, Mike, you know that they lie, man. Just by the maps, how they make the maps.
I did a lot of research when I was inside, dude, it came, and I took a lot of courses out of the UC Berkeley. They were free, dude. So I just and I absorbed it, did a lot with it, and then other forms of research as well, not just there. And then at the end of the day, it came to the fact that like it's ingrained in me, and this is how I look at it, bro. Like it's all connected. How it all started from the very beginning, right? They're looking at it like this: is that okay? Check this out. Let me start here. We do know this, and this is a fact because they measure the light. They know that light travels at 186,000 miles a second.
Mm-hmm.
So like, okay, it travels that far. How far is the sun? So they measured it out, how bright it is, how far it is, where we're traveling, everything. They did the math. Like, okay,
I used to know that.
So 186,000 miles goes into 93 million miles. How many times? And what it comes down to is that when the light comes off the surface of the sun, and by the time you and I get the picture of it, it's 8.5 minutes later. So we're really looking at the sun as it was 8 minutes ago, and it's a time lapse. And then with the moon, it's 3 seconds.
So the lights in it. So we were in a time lapse, some shit like that.
Everything's measured.
Yeah.
So
space
and time,
always say
time within space.
All right, you say the Big Bang thing.
Yeah,
you're a Big Bang believer, right?
I can explain. Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
All right, go into that.
Oh yeah. Okay, check this out. When you were born, how small were you?
When
you were first conceived, like how small were you?
Oh,
right.
Like,
this is my explanation. I'm excited because we're having a good conversation. Like you and I were like this fucking small, right? That's how we was. We were like this small when we were all born, and here we are, this fucking big. That's what the universe did. And what happened is that they measured all the light. They already had it's all a sequence. If any amateur astronomer wants to measure all the lights of the stars in the universe, they're all expanding from each other and from us, and we're going from them, and it's all measured. And as it goes further, it's for some reason they think that part's dark energy, but that part is accelerating as it moves away, and the rest of it is just at its own speed. Because like in space, I'm sorry to be so loud. In space, if I take this lighter and I throw it out there at like 10 miles an hour, it goes for 10 miles an hour for infinity because there's nothing to fuck with it. Unless it gets gravity, then it turns around. Now it's stuck there. But at the end of the day, they're measuring it all, bro. And when they reverse engineer all the math of where all the stars are coming from, it all goes to a central point.
So it's all connected.
It's all connected.
Right.
So somehow, some way, they're realizing, okay, our universe came from something smaller than even when we were born, and it became explosion, and it was hot and intense for like billions of years, and they measured radiation and everything,
and it reached here.
The universe as we know it is 14.5 billion years old.
How about if right, the bang happened, right, and those particles, right, went everywhere, right, all over the universe, right. Some of those particles broke through the here, right. And when I was saying those are different beings. So maybe when those particles landed here in the ocean or somewhere, wherever, right? Okay, they turned into some alive shits. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about a trans band? There's a name for it. Where it comes out from outer space, right? Like germs and shit.
Some shit like that.
And then it forms more life and evolves into bigger shit.
This is a better place. Like this place had. You know what I mean?
I'm with that.
Like, I think of shit like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm with you.
Some shit like that, man. Because that's how everything else starts.
Transpermia, you know I think it's called.
And then, okay, what about, they don't really talk about the black hole no more.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And,
all right.
I was watching this guy saying that, everything they think that everything came out of that hole, yo. Out of total blackness, yo, like.
Right.
And they don't know what's in them fucking. You see what I'm saying? They don't know what those shits are to this day, and they keep them quiet now. Like when we was kids, the cartoons had them in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The people go into the black hole. You know what I mean? Going to another universe or some shit like
I've
that.
studied black holes,
You see what
bro.
I'm saying? So what are they? What are they? What are
All
they?
right, so in the very beginning, check this
I
out.
know
Real
it's the
fun,
same
real
particles,
fun
right?
fact for me. Fun
Same.
fact. This is one I just learned recently. The average lifespan of any black hole is 13 years. 13. And then
What do they do?
So what happens is a star explodes.
Mhm.
And depending on the size and the magnitude of that explosion, by the way, before going any further, Albert Einstein, when he formed general relativity, he formed general relativity before special relativity before he got the Nobel Prize for photons bouncing off of metal. So he was on general relativity, which explained gravity, and black holes were in it, and white holes too. And I'll explain that. And a black hole's like when the star explodes, it tears a hole into space time, all of it. Like it just deforms physics, and then it just sucks in there. It sucks shit in there, taking everything that's within distance. You ever see the whirlpool or a perfect storm or anything like that? If it had any type of shape, that's exactly what it looks like.
No, you can see them. Like they got them on camera.
They got them on there, but you can't see them. But you can see the destruction that it's making. It's all you can see.
Yeah.
That's the fucked up part.
You
where
don't
you
know
can
what's
see.
in there.
It's like looking at someone who's invisible and they're eating food and you're watching all digest. But okay, so that's what that looks like. You follow what I'm saying? So that's what they're looking at. So it goes about 13 years, and at the end of the other side, where the deformed physics blow out another form, which they call the white hole, and they're saying what that does. It may be another mini universe, and that forms life, and then within that there's other mini.
So the black hole creates universe.
It just goes on.
So the black hole creates universes.
Mini
universes.
That's the theory.
How many does it make?
You've got the multiverse.
How many does it make in that 13 years? Does it make? You know what I'm saying?
It depends on what's in its path. You know, like what's there.
Would it digest? That's a monster, right? So it's a lot.
They said the temperature is like crazy.
So it's something alive that dies. You know what I mean?
It's
weird.
It's like a broken fucking heart, bro. In outer space.
Destruction, right? Destruction causing.
And they say, and then not all stars do it. They're saying that our star, this sun, the soul, what they call the soul of the solar system, and they're saying that the sun here is small and it's going to expand, and eventually within billions of years it's going to expand to the point where it's going to engulf Mercury. It'll be gone, and then it's going to engulf Venus. It'll be gone.
It's going to fry.
It's going to get all. Yeah, this planet will be fried up. The oceans will be gone. And then it's gonna take what it loves. It's gonna take the Earth with it. It's gonna take one more fucking planet, and then once it explodes and goes into a white dwarf, is what they call it. It's just a small little fucking moon. It turns from a sun and into a moon after it takes everything it loves, and that's all it is, and everything just kind of floats. That's what the math says is gonna happen to our sun.
You see the Chinese sun they built. I want to show you the artificial sun.
That's badass.
What's that for?
I mean, it's knowledge, bro, right? I mean, plus
Maybe
energy.
They're getting ready for that shit you're talking about. Maybe they're going to cover up.
You know?
Put the sun up. Keep it going, yeah.
I mean, there's even shit that I bet you learned from that we didn't even think of.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line. With the right scientist, of course, and everything. But it's just like,
the space
it just keeps evolving this way.
It's just how I tell you, I believe that NASA don't show us shit, man. I believe I think NASA's like a fucking Hollywood show, man. You see what I mean? And they get that money and they go do the real shit with that money, man. You know what I'm saying? And they show us a couple rockets going up with some bullshit pictures and you know what I mean? Some guys in the ship eating some, you know what I mean? Frozen cakes and.
What if there's a lot more going on?
There is, man. Yeah. There is a lot more going on, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just the Disney shit for us, you know? That's for the TV. They ain't gonna show you what's really going on out there.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Probably got whole damn civilizations and shit. You know what I mean? Built, ready to go.
Yeah.
For the billionaires. all around the world, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Gotta have this to buy in.
Fun fact, just because I thought of it. What do you think about this? I don't know if I brought it before on the podcast, but I know I mentioned it to you on the side before. Like I thought this is fucking interesting since we're talking about that. Where Werner von Braun, who was a Nazi SS soldier scientist out of Germany, who had a rocket factory inside of a fucking mountain, right, with Jewish slaves was working, and the 4 Jewish slowest workers were hung outside and all that shit. You know what I mean? So like,
slowest workers.
Yeah, the bullshit. Yeah, the slowest workers were hung outside.
Yeah, the pressure. Imagine the pressure. Yeah.
Satanism all the fucking way over there, dude. That's what they were doing. So
you with your job.
Oh.
They just say we'll fire you. But back
then, come on in to Snake Mountain, baby, and build those rockets. So that's what he was under with the SS Thunderbolts on his collar and shit. And then, like, of course, the United States won the war. Russia won the war because when we helped out Russia, Russia helped us. And then he came over here under the supervision of the government, of course. I mean, I guess he partied with Disney and everything else, but whatever. So like, yeah. But he did a lot of good though. He did form NASA. He did help us get to the moon.
With Walt Disney, right?
Walt Disney, he helped make videos. He made videos with Walt Disney on it. I watched them. Where like it shows like he already shows you a model. Werner von Braun shows you a model of a space station of how to live on it with fake gravity. Like it would spin around. Remember Deep Space Nine of Star Trek? Just like that. It's the same shit. I'm like, no, they must have copied that off of him then, because it's the same thing he was showing in the 60s.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm sorry, bro. He wrote a book, right? And I forget the name of the title of the book, but Werner von Braun wrote a book about Americans, about humans that will get together under a rocket scientist and go to Mars. And in that book, the rocket scientist is named Elon Musk. I'm sorry, Elon, not Musk, but Elon.
Elon, right?
This Elon. So
because look, think about this, right? And this is I seen this guy talk about this one time, right? And this was what I never thought about that, right? Mm-hmm. They always show us these rocket ships, right? And they always going up, right? The shit's going up, right? To the planet just up here, right? Like we're here, and we're going to the planet just up here, or it's over there a little bit, or how, you know what I'm saying? How that shit's going up, right? So what's down? Like, do these motherfucking rockets go down? You see what I'm saying? But this shit below us, if we are just hanging up here, right? Yeah. This ain't the bottom of everything. Like what's
space? You mean?
What's down? Like
space?
So
in outer space?
Not a space, yo. Like you see
up
what I'm
saying? Up and down is
here?
Relative to what star you live on, bro. You know what I mean?
But no, but as far as we're here, we're just think about we're here. This is the Earth. We're here, right? And they make us think that everything's up here, yo, right? Yeah. But what's down? What's down, yo? Like when these rockets go off, can this shit curve? Like, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Or do they wait until the Earth is here and does it go down, yo? Like, do these motherfuckers? You see what I'm saying, yo?
Oh yeah, I know. When they come down, like if they land them, they have to go in they slowly go within the atmospheres and they keep going small, until they land. Or if not, the whole shuttle blew up as it went into outer space, and what's left of it they leave out there, and then they come out with a whole other shuttle and it just lands in the ocean, and then the Navy fleet comes in and just picks them up.
I think we are out of space, yo. Like, you see what I'm saying? You're like, I think Earth is part of outer space too, yo. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Just like it's I don't know. It's weird, man. Like
14.5 billion years of measured universe compared to our 4.5 measured billion-year-old existence of an Earth, with our human existence, which is like a hair or a leaf at the end of it all. With all that evolution and everything, it's possible that other things already gotten here already and pre-programmed everything to where everything is today. It's just all slow progress because evolution takes time.
I know
science
now
and
that
innovation.
Yes, I know now that there was more advanced technologies than we have now. There were technologies that were more advanced than we are today. I don't know if there were small groups of people or whatever it was, but there was something going on where there was some people here You know what I'm saying? At one point in time, not everybody, you know what I mean?
Mm.
But there was somebody, people who were here who were highly, highly intelligent, dude.
Yeah.
Doing some shit with some, you know what I mean? Some that they don't want us to know about. Because there's too much evidence, man, you know what I mean? There's too much evidence that they left behind that they're finding now, all this types of shit that they're finding now. You see that they, in Antarctica, they say they found a spaceship from out of space, like a winged craft, they call it. I was just reading that. They found this winged craft, right, from Google Earth, right?
Yeah.
So whoever found it wasn't no scientist or something. It was a person. You see what I'm saying? Because anybody can Google Earth. You know what I mean? I don't know if you got to pay for it or whatever. I think it's just like a free app. I use it to see little streets, but I don't know if I'll look at no other countries and all this shit. I never tried that. You know what I'm saying? I never tried to Google, let's Google this in China. This street in China. You know what I mean? Maybe you can't see that shit like live. It's live, Mike. Like, or, like it's crazy. So maybe they did find this, and now you can't find it no more. Like that area is censored. You see what I'm saying? They just zapped that off. Like, oh no, take that off Google Maps, that location. You know what I mean?
So, like, there's probably discoveries they found that they're just not letting us.
People are finding shit with drones now. Just in little states and shit. Like, you see what I'm saying? People are going over woods and shit, and they're seeing shit like, oh shit, yo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then they're like, oh shit, I can't tell nobody about this.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Maybe it was left alone for a reason. You know what I mean? Maybe it wasn't supposed to be found. Like this farm dude. There's this farmer guy, right? Who had this super rich cattle dude, right? Who built this. He had these trees planted, right? Oh, I don't know if he had them brought in. I don't know, but he had these into a certain shape, Mike, right? The size of the brand that he puts on his cows, right? And this shit is so big you can see it from outer space. Like you can't see it. Like you can't tell it's like that unless you go out of, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's crazy. It's massive, yo. You know what I'm saying? It costs millions and millions of dollars to build that shit, yo. But that shit will be there forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
And it looks like one of them symbols that they show you. Like, look at this symbol in the cornfield, or look at this. You know what I mean? How this circle.
What do you think about that?
Somebody left that shit there. Yeah. It was something going on there.
Yeah, the crop circles, right?
Yeah, like that didn't look like nothing too crazy to me. Like, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, that looked like something somebody did, man.
Yeah, someone was really good with that.
Somebody was really good back in the days, yo. You know. Or maybe somebody could see, but it's crazy how like there's things, but the only thing with those shapes is that you can't tell them from unless you're a certain mountain in the sky. See what I'm saying? So how did whoever was building them, did they know what they looked like? Did they know what it looked like? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or maybe only the people who, those just look like some type of runways or something to me, man. You know, I don't know what the hell they are. But, and then how about you think about what's that place everybody goes in, Grand Canyon. Do you think that was really formed by the water erosion over the years?
I mean,
because it's mad of an attraction, or it.
I mean, it probably could have been because like there's other parts of the country out there where like they found like old, like dinosaur like shark tooths and shit. You know what I mean? Where like
the walls,
all kinds of shit. Like even other types of like deep sea.
Yeah,
life where like some of those areas for whatever reason. Again, then we're going back in like Antarctica and like all the other things about like the climate change and shit. But in that part, apparently the theory is that like there was a lot of water over there, and then they were all living there, and then shit happened with the universe and the solar system.
What do you think about? Because I think it's bullshit about global warming. I think it's a fake government, like I said, some Disney shit, man. They getting billions of fucking dollars, dude. And they know good and well that this earth is gonna change goddamn temperatures.
No matter what.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Bullshit,
And they getting that's Gore. Gore was the head of that, right? He was getting billions, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I believe he was the head of that when Bush was the president. I believe that
Algorithm.
Algorithm, yeah.
You know what I mean?
What happened to that?
Yeah.
Dude? But yeah, I think it's like that with the cancer. I think they got the cure for that. They just get billions and billions of dollars and stuff like that. Rest in peace, my grandma died from cancer, man. You know,
my grandma died from cancer too.
Crazy, man. You know what I mean? She was around.
Your grandmother died from cancer?
Lung cancer, man.
Wow.
Well, it was in the
Where was that?
Like, yeah. And she didn't smoke, man.
Where was
being around
bladder?
It's crazy, you know.
Wow, yeah.
That
stuff is vicious, man.
It is, man. And it's like we were talking about the sugar at work. When we were talking about the sugar with the people. You see how crazy people think you are when you tell them that?
It's because they don't want to be educated. Not everybody, but I hate to say it that way. But
it's almost like they're like, huh? I'm like, you can just read it. Like, read it for yourself.
There are not people that work, but other people that I've met in general, for sure, that have a mindset of what you're talking about. Compared, I've noticed where it's like they're insecure, but they also want to be a know-it-all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And with that combination, it's like you can't even tell them anything because they're like, oh no, I'm just gonna keep eating sugar because. And for whatever reason, there's just a mindset that you can't fix it.
When we were children, right? When they
Yeah.
first came out with that sweet and low stuff, right? They were on even, and I think it still says it on the box, yo. This may cause cancer, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were saying that about that stuff, like this stuff caused cancer in the mice, in the lab mice. That's what they kept saying. Only in the lab mice. In the lab mice, it causes cancer. It causes cancer. And now it's just out. You know what I mean? And they don't say that no more. So it's like, man, and people are like, oh, no, I don't need sugar. I'll get some sweet low. I'm like, well, damn, that's like double cancer.
Yeah.
That's like the double version of that shit. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how I feel about this shit, yeah.
My guilty pleasure is ice cream.
I
had 2 ice cream sandwiches last night.
My stomach up, man. Yeah. Ice cream makes me like.
I had 2 ice cream sandwiches from 7-Eleven last night.
That was good, huh?
Yeah, they were fucking really good. Good.
That's funny, yeah.
But I don't do that often, though. So it's a nice treat every now and then.
I like potato chips. That's my bad thing, yo. I eat a whole bag of Ruffles.
Ruffles?
Any kind of like just sour cream, I like Ruffle chips.
Sour cream and onion. That's
my
favorite. Yeah, I like that.
Bag,
like that in the barbecue. Yeah.
Oh man, they go down like. You know.
Hell yeah.
It's like a good one. I shouldn't eat the bag because the serving is like, you look at the serving be like 10 chips. The bag got 4 servings in it. I'm going to make it 1.
All right, real quick, let me ask you this.
Bathroom, right?
You use the bathroom?
Yes, bad.
Yeah. We'll be right back. Have a little pause.
Shit. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you for still being here if you are here. And if you like, please like. If you would like to subscribe, please subscribe. And if you'd like to share, please share. Just like to have fun. Gotta entertain yourself. Can't go bad with Bob Marley, right? Can't go wrong. Oh boy. This is white sage. Good stuff. I also have black sage. Ooh.
back. All right. Uh-oh. Good catch.
Saved it.
Good catch.
Love it.
I think could have broke, huh?
Oh, I've had this for like over 2 years.
Yeah,
So I bought this in Providence.
Think it would have broke if we dropped it right there?
I hope not. I don't know. Probably, yeah.
Probably, huh?
Yeah. I named it the Eye of Providence.
Mm-hmm.
Opened my eye and I got it from Providence.
So that's what I'm talking about.
Alright, so the Hubble telescope's got badass pictures. He's gotten us badass pictures for a long time, right? You roll another one? Yeah. You need that tray? To roll on or anything to roll on? You get that?
Yeah, let me see that tray, yeah.
Yeah, here's some weed. Hope anybody can appreciate this. You are good, sir. Okay, so we have the Hubble telescope that's been up there for a while. Got us a lot of good pictures of the universe and of Earth and all kinds of other things. But then now they've shipped out there a big badass motherfucker of a satellite dish. It's better than Hubble, and they named it James Webb Telescope after a military scientist out of the Marine Corps, and they shipped it because so you got Earth and then you got Hubble and then you got the Moon, but with this new one, you've got Earth, Hubble, Moon, and then the Webb telescope.
Earth, Hubble, the Moon. So it's past the Moon.
Yeah, way past it. Okay. I forget how far.
What do they show you pictures of it?
Yes.
What's out there? What are they showing you?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. What pictures it's taken yet?
Yeah.
I haven't seen those yet, if anything's come out. But I want to, and that's what I'm looking for. And they're saying that because it's so far out there, now there's no light to fuck with the pictures, and plus it's more powerful, it's a bigger mirror, and it can look deeper. Damn near to the center of the beginning of the universe, you can see, is what they're saying.
That's deep, right?
Yeah.
To the center of
that's
the universe,
so deep,
right?
That the phrase you just said is exactly that.
So what are they telling us? What's down? What's there? What's in there? It ain't lava like they told us. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know if they've gotten that far yet. If they have, they haven't
never
said
believe
that
that
shit.
shit. I never believed that shit, man. Not even as a kid, man. You just know you think that is just fucking plasma and rock. Get the fuck out of here.
It comes down to the laws of physics just aren't
don't fit
to our understanding.
What about the telescope? The telescope is called Lucifer.
The Lucifer telescope.
The biggest telescope. It's ain't it like the
owned by the Vatican?
Yeah. They say they say it's owned by a college. I looked it up, You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But it has something to do with the Vatican, Why is it named that though? Why what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? What is that about?
Well, because probably okay, check this out. So
if it has something to do with has something to do with the Vatican, why is it named that? If it's not, okay.
It's kind of like when you go into the Vatican, right? When you look at where they hold their whole meetings, where the Pope is and everything. It's on. Have you seen that on my Facebook? The whole picture.
The big creepy. Do you think that that's creepy, or do you think it's beautiful? How's your mind work, huh?
I mean, if you want to put energy in apples where they are, it's like the okay. So if anything to do with Nostradamus and predictions and things like that, mediums and psychic mediums or whatever that they do all those things, right? They were into all types of spiritualism, any types of books or literature that they have and then don't release to the public, right? Mm-hmm. And then they also understand the deep knowledge because you got to think too, and I know this. I mean, just they're in what they are, they're for religion, popes and bishops and all that, they're kind of like generals of their military, right? Like they really know all those books and the information that's in it.
Quarterbacks.
Yeah, and then they're like, okay, so they know what they know what they know on what they're talking about with like God, and then like the devil and Jesus and all the other prophets and angels, and one third of 1/3 of God's angels coming down from heaven.
The Watchers.
Yeah, and then the 1/3 goes into the number 13, and
you know who the Watchers are? You ever heard of the Watchers?
yes.
The Watchers are the angels that came down here and made it with humans, right?
Yes.
And they said that some of these people amongst us are their offsprings, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You think I first heard about that. Guess who I first heard about that from? I first heard about who the Watchers were with a song with Jay-Z and Dr. Dre. Made a song together called The Watchers.
Yes.
And look where they are. Both billionaires today. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
Yeah.
And you ever see that? Remember I showed you the picture? How you showed me the picture of Julius Caesar?
Yeah.
And I showed you the picture of Jay-Z, the old Jay-Z too.
Wow.
Like, he come back every goddamn so many years. You know what I mean? As another billionaire, because that dude looked like he was in a nice suit too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, what's going on? Reincarnation. And they tell us about the reincarnation, right? So do you think that?
Reincarnation.
So how about this, Mike, right? The reincarnation, right? They say you die and you come back, right?
Yes.
What if how I think that these beings before us had these greater technologies? I believe they were doing all of this shit, yo.
Yeah.
I believe that they had all types of beings, yo. You know what I'm saying? And what if reincarnation was them like doing the shit with the DNA that we're doing now, yo? How you can order your pet. You can if your pet dies, you can bring it somewhere, and they can have your pet. It'll grow again. It'll have a kitten or so. I don't know how they doing that shit, but you know what I mean? You ever see that? They'll the clones. They'll clone your pet nowadays, man. I'm like, man.
Bible's gone through many interpretations. But at least in that one part in Genesis, when you take the word Genesis, it says if you break apart the two words in the back and bring them together, you get is genes, like genetics. I really believe that. And then like when you go into the story of it, when it talks about God creating Adam out of his own image, and then wanting to make him a female, so he laid him down, put him into a deep sleep, took a rib, and then from the rib he took, he made Lilith in the beginning. Lilith didn't work out. She left off, and then in other books she became the wife of the devil. Yeah, and then Eve came along. And then she laid for him and did everything else.
Bee's bad too.
Yeah, but that's the thing about the devil is that he got both them girls. You know what I mean?
Eve's just as bad.
Yeah, dude.
He fucked everything up if you follow that story.
And Adam's like, hey,
he's like, hey, got him. Changed the whole course of the world on you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because that's because you say the women are powerful. Yeah, they are.
They are.
Yes, they are indeed, man.
Yeah, women are powerful, man.
Respect that.
Mother Nature.
Yeah.
And she will make corrections. I believe that through her life force that she makes corrections just as the universe makes corrections, just as good makes corrections over evil and things like that,
Yeah. You remember that? You remember that show Captain Planet? You ever see that cartoon?
Yeah, when I was a little kid, I used to watch it at times when I was a kid. Right. Yeah, and I liked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They was like they were the elements, right? Earth, wind, fire. You know what I'm saying? They came together.
Yeah.
And they fought the sludge dude, the pig.
Oh wow!
Right, the pig was trying to destroy the world, right?
God,
just right? Yeah, he really was a pig. Remember him, right? The character, right?
Funny.
But you got to think how deep that show was, like, right?
Yeah.
Because that show was like fighting for Mother Earth, man. You know what I'm saying? And they always showed us in these cartoons like what they were doing And I feel like they make it, they like numb people down to it. Like they were always had the evil villain that was pouring stuff into the water and doing this and you gotta say this and yada yada. And they was really doing that in real life, man. You know what I'm saying? Like these come like taunting the Silver City. Remember the movie? There was a movie called Civil Suit, right?
Okay.
John Travolta was in it, right? And the movie was about there's a town in Massachusetts. If it's not taunting, it's like middle
Really?
row. It's really around here. You can watch it.
I love John Travolta.
It's free on one of them channels.
Yeah.
And it's about this neighborhood, right, where like a few miles, maybe, man, maybe not even a few miles, maybe like these I don't know how far of a distance it is, but these families all or somebody in this house got cancer in every house.
Oh wow.
You saying and it's like this stream that they lived near where they were dumping stuff from these companies when there wasn't no regulations back in the day. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
You
no
could just
kidding.
dump in the lake. Like they didn't know it was killing the environment. They're like, okay, just dump, take this out back, dump this in there. You know what I mean? They dumping all types of shit in there. So now all of these this shit soak into the land or whatever, you know what I mean? And depending on where the houses are, every time it rains, a little bit it's probably drift down, you know what I mean? And over the years, so they all got cancer. And they just fought this dude and fought this dude and fought this dude, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To the point where the people, when it was all over, man, like each of them families, like they was able to prove it, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they had to pay, but it took so long and so much money, man, that them families didn't get nothing. Like, man, it was like $400. It was something crazy when they did the settlement for everybody.
Yeah.
It was nothing, dude.
Plugged in. Now we're back. It was at 5% there. Oh, hell yeah, man.
So how you think the what do you think is gonna play out? I want to ask like a somebody's older than us. I should ask the guy at the store, that guy John, man. What do you think's gonna happen in Ukraine? You know what I mean? Like see it from that old guy's perspective, man. Because they probably seen this. Like, you know how
he's seen a lot play out.
Yeah. Like how's this gonna play out in 20 years, man? Cause
I would personally, bro. If you're asking me, I agree with you because he's 90. Myself, if I had to guess, just based on like studying World War II, World War One, all the wars we've ever seen in our lifetime, and the ones even before, and in wars that I've seen. I've studied that were around other parts of the world. That there's wars that have lasted 100 years, 200 years, 400 years, 20 years, 50 years, 2 years. This war could last, in my opinion, for like 20 years. Like just like Syria has been at war forever. Iraq is in war. Afghanistan still has war within itself. Like there's so much war.
Yeah, they gotta create it.
That the people it's my opinion. I'm not sure, but like if I had to guess, like just from what I've read or watched on war, is that with this is that they understand that the people want to keep their country over there in Ukraine, and they're going to fight for it. And they're like, well, we'll give them arms and everything, and we'll help them out and everything. But at the same time, there's too many ties with Russia for us to go in there. And not only that, like if we go into nuclear war, I mean that's what it comes down to. Like, do we want to split a space station? Do we want to go to nuclear war? Do we?
Okay.
How many corporations actually survive?
When they say, right, like when I watch the news over here, right, they always say, right, Korea's over there testing.
Yeah.
Russia's testing. They shot a missile with nuclear capability into the ocean. You know what I mean, like a dud or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They could reach. Now that like Russia's saying they got shit that can reach here. You know what I mean? Like do you think that those are like Are those like when they let off the nuclear missiles in them other countries, right? Do you think they could have really just blew up their whole fucking
Oh, when we did Japan twice.
Yeah, like when they
did
like,
that.
do you think
yeah.
that was like scares, like on a minor scale, what those could really do, or do you think that they had more?
America was winning, and then we our military dropped a nuclear bomb. Once that happened, the emperor said he surrendered. Once he said he surrendered, we dropped a second one. And once we dropped the second one, then we said, okay, now we're gonna take your. Now we're gonna take it, but we want you to see two of them.
Yeah.
And if you back off on your word, there'll be a whole lot more than that. So yeah, it scared them into submission.
Were those
100%.
scare ones?
Never seen it before.
I know, but
The
you
shadows
saying,
of the people.
I
Sorry.
think that we have bigger shits that can just. You think?
Oh yeah, we got better than that now. Is that what you're saying?
Like even back then, do you think that those were like just a little something? You know what I'm saying? Like, or you think, you know what I mean? Like,
there's pictures of it going off. It's a big fucking it's the nuclear explosion like as a mushroom cloud, right?
I seen them.
There's pictures and there's still places there right now you can visit as tourist attraction where the shadows of the people from the nuclear blast, because of the physics of how the nuclear blast hit those people, their shadows are still right there from the nuclear blast. You see a woman and her child, they're hugging.
Yeah, like the Terminator movie.
Like that.
Exactly,
All that,
right.
all that really.
That's what that was basically. That showed you what that looked like.
That's how horrifying that weapon really is. It even leaves that behind. It's not. And then you can't even live there for a long time. And then like for generations, there's people nearby. They're having physical difficulties. So it's like, how much further do you want to go with the beast that's going to even come up with a better weapon than that and use it, and you don't have one?
Yeah.
So to me, it's like,
So what do you think?
And they know all this.
What do you think Korea has? You think Korea has something capable of doing something like we did back then now?
Everything that they have that they've shown is like hand-me-down Russian stuff. So like if they ever wanted to go attack Russia could destroy them like whenever they wanted to.
Yeah, I know.
If they went after China would destroy them. If they tried to come after Japan has our military. If we really wanted to, since we have a badass navy and they don't, we wouldn't even have to send troops in there, in my opinion, dude. Like, just do it. They did with fucking Iraq. Just send a bunch of Navy missiles over across. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean?
Fuck them up.
Like, all right.
Ain't no joke, yo.
Right? All right, dude. You know what I mean? You're a small fucking island. And they haven't even talked about South Korea yet. It's like South Korea.
I don't really know
why is it?
About South Korea.
And plus, on top of that,
dude, saying nothing about that place.
We've seen it before, where like you go